Signed up
Like,
for
like
our
the
house.
house.
I don't know.
But back then, when the house was
She showed me one.
0.50 interest.
When I went to go take pictures.
I was in her.
She
Yeah, but
she
22
sent me
years
down
ago.
the street.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, we don't have approval. And she said, well, wait, I don't have to, but I'm gonna show you my approval. And she showed me one that was
Okay,
approved
so
by
about
her.
another one. Okay, look, this is a,
Okay.
I don't know if you have that, that's on FPL.
Oh, no, that's
It
great.
tell you, when you see these colors
Uh-huh.
and the cables, it tell you who is.
Excellent, excellent. You can call 811? I never knew that. Also, 811 and then,
Mhm.
wow.
These are two extra,
Okay,
but these are the old type, this is a sample if you want.
all right, perfect.
Okay, this is for the car, the pool cards. I just found that. I'm looking.
The same company, okay.
Yeah, that's all I got those last ones, so.
Right.
I don't know if they got pool cards. So I don't know.
The name sounds familiar, this one sounds
So
familiar.
you can just recheck that.
I will?
This is for filing purposes.
Okay.
That's a Comcast. Let me see what else I have.
Was this one executed? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's for filing purposes. This is, this I think have to do with the insurance money that we gained because of
Look who's there.
Steve
in front of the camera.
Which president?
Say hello.
So
Look at that big boy.
Work that at this location. And this is the first.
Hey, bring it to the front so I can see him.
Hello, Paul Jr.
Oh, boy.
And I know this was for something like that.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Look at those beautiful eyes, boy.
That's-
Little muscles, oh, boy.
He looked and he said, what's that?
Oh, man, he's-
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. David, you ready?
30 seconds.
All right.
Everybody gets quiet.
If we can get this on the road, the coverage game tonight. I told you again.
Memphis.
There's a game.
Yeah, 9.
I have 8 of 6.
We have some, how you doing? Welcome.
Ready?
Right when you're
Okay, we call the meeting to order this evening. Today is May the 21st, and the time is 8:08. Roll call. Roberto Morales. Here. Paul Vitro. Here. Carlos Russo.
Here.
And Ernesto Del Amor here. Nick, we did receive information from Nick Ortiz that he was not going to make it this evening, and we're missing bids so far. Okay. Proof of notice.
Notice was posted.
Thank you. Approval of previous minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the previous minutes? Any addition and subtraction? Did we not? Any addition and subtraction? Okay. Make a motion to approve minutes for April 16.
Second.
Been properly second by Roberto Morales. Again, any discussion? Any concerning the amendment? None? All of those in favor say aye. Motion approved. Moving on to financial report.
Nick isn't here to give it. Do you want to say a few words?
Please.
Okay. Your cash and bank increased over the month. I would say about $12,000 in your operating account, and of course, it decreased for the expenses in the bankruptcy account by a little over $4,000. The account ending balance that you have there reflects uncleared checks of almost $31,000, so you actually have about $270,000 in the bank as of April 30th. Cash activity, you received almost $60,000 in homeowner fees and other. There was a big interest payment, about $11,000 this month from one of the homeowner settlements. Through Maloney. And then dispersed this month for $45,000 in normal typical expenses plus some of the special projects that are going on. There are 113 delinquencies, one to almost 3 months, totaling almost $19,000. That's about holding steady, more or less, from last month and the previous. At the attorney, also holding steady, 102 for a total of $365,000. Your payables are very low this month, only less than $1,000, and that's mostly due to the last half of the payment to Mr. Duarte for cleaning the drains.
Any questions that you might have in reference to the financial report? Okay. I would make a motion to approve the financial report at this time. Can I have a second?
Second.
Been properly second. Any discussion? Concern? All of those in favor say aye. Motion approved. I can make a pause at this time, and I would like to, before we continue, is anyone in the audience would like to comment about anything before we continue that have to do with the agenda? The reason I'm asking the question is because the last time we went through the agenda and then asked a question after, and then one of the residents commented that it probably would be good to ask the question if they have anything about that agenda to give them the opportunity to speak. And then when we go through the agenda, at least we can keep that in mind.
I think the comment of the resident was that if the board has a discussion on a topic and they're gonna hold a vote, before having the vote, ask the audience for input and then have the vote, so that the vote doesn't occur without the input. I think that was the...
Okay. In reference, if that's the point, we would not ask question during the vote, because the simple reason is that sometimes we might have one person, and it's fine, but sometimes we might have 10 or 15 person, and then if everyone wants to speak, and speak long, it's just going to increase the time for everyone. So, if anyone have anything in their mind that would like to say something, we're glad to hear it now. But afterwards, after the meeting, then we will ask questions again. Yeah, but during that time, we might run into some problems where everyone want to speak, everyone want to give it, and it create a timeline. Okay?
But isn't it the same delay whether it happens before or after the vote?
No, because we need to review what we can vote on. Just like when we place an agenda on the bulletin board, everybody needs to come prepared. If they need additional information, we forward it to them, and hopefully, all the information that we also have, I hope that David is also forwarding it to you for you to blast it out. Because if there's questions, I need to come ready to ask questions. Okay, since there's no one have any remark, we will continue.
I can let you know, in our other associations that we work with, we have a segment for residents' comments, either at the beginning, there's other associations that have it at the end, but a very few that have lagged over from years and years ago that do have it in the middle, it becomes disruptive and it turns into a back and forth. And so if you would like, in the future agendas, I'll go ahead and move that to the beginning.
That sounds good.
The comments,
Uh-huh.
you can have comments at the beginning and comments at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Where
fine.
would you prefer?
We will have the comments once right below approval of the minutes,
Okay.
before the financial report. Is that good with you?
Yeah. Yes.
I would even move it up before the minute, in case somebody would have a comment about the minutes, then
That's fine.
we'll do that, okay?
That is fine.
And then, you know, your vote on the minutes will take into consideration what they have to say.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Management report.
Well, it's been very busy this month. We have a lot of things going on. The first thing that we wanted to talk about, and I'll talk about just in limited detail because we're talking about security and we don't want to give our hand away. So I can let you know that we've reviewed in detail the protocol that's supposed to be in effect here for Marbella Park for each and every security patrol officer that works this duty. And on Friday, when they came to pick up their checks, each one was counseled and reviewed what the rules and regulations are, what the procedures are, once again. And finally, the protocol is posted in bright colored paper inside the guardhouse. So really, at this point in time, there's no excuse for any of the security officers not doing what they're supposed to do. Also, at the end of each shift, there's supposed to be the security roving around the supervisor. So, like in the middle of the night, if there are any cars that are double parked, he writes them up, and if it's like the second or the third time, he's going to have the car towed away. Then, why?
When you said double park, how do you define double park?
Parked on the street in a thoroughfare.
Okay, so you just park in common area.
Yes.
So,
All right. Secondly, we've been very busy working with Maloney and Fine, their attorneys, on collection matters. Every day, numerous times throughout the day, they're asking me for updated ledgers. They're really moving hard and fast. And, you know, I don't want to talk in too much detail about any specific cases here in the open forum, but I've provided with you the details on how they're updating cases. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 11 more cases were just sent to them right after the 15th of the month. And those are the people that haven't paid in over 2 months. I wanted to say one last thing in the management report this month is about the bank account. We have excellent relationships with several banks, and I'm talking, when I say we, I'm talking about Affinity Management, with several banks around town, that are very cooperative with us, even though they know that we don't sign actually on the bank accounts. We're not signers, we don't want to be signers. We don't want to transact any business on these bank accounts. However, when it comes to recording and preparing necessary financial information for the associations we're contracted with, we need that information in order to do our jobs. The only exception to that rule seems to be BB&T for whatever reason, I can't answer that. They're very nice to talk to on the phone, very professional, but as an example, last week, or 2 weeks ago, actually, when it came time to receive the financial statement from the bank in the mail, your bank account, it didn't come. We called them, they said, don't worry, we're gonna send it, and they never did send it. And we found out, we had to trace it back, why didn't they send it? And meanwhile, we're under pressure because we want to provide you with your financial statements on time and send them to you in advance, so that you have a time to look at them and review them and come prepared to these type of meetings. So then they said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Height, you need to fill out this form and send it to us and gain access just to read the bank statements. So we did that, and to make a long story short, there was a delay in processing the form, and the form was denied after everything was said and done because we're not signers on the account. So luckily, yesterday morning, we did gain access to the account. We appreciate your vigilance in helping us do that. But this is yet one more reason why it's going to become imperative that we establish a banking relationship with a banker that's cooperative.
Okay. What I need Affinity Management to do is to get you.
Here,
You had it.
you got a good kiss.
We would like, what I would like Affinity Management to do is to send the bank a letter to the general manager of that bank, or whoever is the top manager of the bank, to CC to corporate
Okay.
of the bank, whoever you need to go, so you have to find that out. And explaining what happened, explaining and sending them a copy attaching a copy of the exhibit,
Okay.
and advising them. You need to probably advise them what are the benefit you have with other banks, what access you have, that's not being decided, that no compromise. And letting them know that you need a corporation and they are not getting the corporation. I think what we need to do, we need to, once that happens, we need to follow up, see where they are, expect some information for them. But we need to send them up 2 or 3 letters.
Okay.
We are not going to change, we're not going to change bank in the middle of the year
Of course.
because of the deposits. But what we will do is let them know in advance, this is a problem. If they can alleviate this scenario by November, that we get to November, then at November meeting, we can make a decision to switch bank.
Okay.
And we will make a decision, we bring in the different bank information, and we make a decision then, and then like that, the new booklet can be sent out under the new bank.
Perfect. That makes sense.
But we need to see that letter though.
Sure.
Make sure you copy all of us and see it. Whenever they send something back, we're expecting them to write us back, and we can follow that. Any other information in reference to your report?
I'll keep it brief because I
Okay,
know we
what
have
is the-
a lot to talk about.
Okay, can you brief us on where we at? Okay, that's understood, that's okay. That's fine. Any question about the management report? Concern? None? Okay. We can move to whole business. And the Lake Walkway Alpha project.
Number 5, you can see earlier today, shortly before noon and shortly after noon, we received 2 bid proposals, one from M&M and one from JES. And at this time, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege and introduce to us a representative from JES, Jorge Suarez.
Yes, it's my name. And also Locker, Mr. Locker. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming. In case you have any questions or anything. The other firm is up in, I believe, Lake Worth, or it would be a little bit further for them to come down today. So they submitted sealed bids. They were signed in by our staff, stamped and dated. And at this time, if you'd like to open these packages, you know. That's an original. Oh, no, that's JES. Thanks.
That's an original from M&M's.
Why don't I stick with your, can I
Oh,
switch
yeah.
and stick with the originals? Can I s-
These are switched over this.
Those are copies.
And
These are copies for this, right? No, that's
It's original, right?
This is original?
No, I have.
Yeah, you should have all three.
It doesn't say copy, yeah.
To the resident right now, and this is something that we have to get back to the director, but you can look at it just here, 2 package.
For the residents. We'll take a look.
Yeah, whoever want to pick up a pack and look at it, get together and do 2 different companies, 2 different companies.
So this is
2
one
different.
and two?
And 1 and 2, yeah. And then you can pass it to the others, please. You need that back at the end.
Would it be helpful while I'm reviewing it, if you'd like me to read out the comparison to the residents?
That's fine, that's fine.
Yes, okay. So we have here the bid from JES, and I'll read their prices first, and then M&M. I'll read their prices second. And I'd like to preface my reading of the prices by saying the price is not the only consideration. I'm sure the board is also going to look to experience and quality of work, references. JES for excavation, $1,960. M&M for excavation, $9,600. Filling compaction, JES, $742.50. Filling compaction for M&M, $2,500. Existing walkway, asphalt walkway demolition for JES, $22,970.20. For M&M, $23,320. The 1-inch thick type S1 asphalt surface course for JES is $19,239, and for M&M is $46,640. For the compacted 4-inch thick lime rock base for JES, $25,664.76, and for M&M, $32,405. To seal the new asphalt walkway surface after 90 days, procuring $8,745 for JES, $5,830 for M&M. The new sod to match the existing for JES, $6,950 compared to M&M, $7,500. To prune and remove the tree root crossings under the walkway, JES, $945. M&M $2,500. To construct the riprap rubble as per the FDOT specifications, JES $12,945, for M&M $25,500. To construct the 4,000 PSI concrete retaining wall for JES, $21,760 compared to M&M $25,500. To construct the 42-inch high, 2-inch round pipe guardrail for JES, $6,545 compared to M&M $8,500. To repair 3 feet by 3 feet by 2 feet deep asphalt roadway potholes, 31 each, $465 for JES compared to $6,200 for M&M. And to remove and dispose of the existing plastic speed bumps and replace the JES $1,482 compared to M&M $4,500. Lastly, to repair the existing asphalt roadway and parking areas that have the sinkholes. There were 3 areas, and JES bid $2,470 compared to M&M. Their total bid was $10,000 on that item.
Total, this is, did I place a total somewhere?
There were no totals because each of these, not each of them, but the 4 or 5 of them are optional items.
Which ones are optional?
Okay, to seal, you don't have to seal. So that's going to be 1, 2,
Seal new
3, 4,
asphalt?
5, 6. The 6th one down. It's not
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 the best one.
right.
Seal new asphalt walkway surface after 90 days with all AES and 220 asphalt sealer by Enviro Seal are equal. Okay.
The potholes is the second from the bottom. Repair 3 feet by 3 feet. And then replace the speed bumps, the 6 speed bumps, that's an option.
That 4,500.
And the 3, on the next page, the 3 sinkholes, that was an option.
Yeah, I think it will be good if we can add them all.
We can do that.
I don't know. Okay,
I can do it, it would be great though if somebody else could also do it, just to check on
Do we
figures.
have any references for any of these 2 companies?
Let's take 2.
Something in the back, yeah.
They attach something, a letter, the,
JES has references from the Presidential Condominium, Sanderling Apartments, Caribbean House Condominium, M&M has references from Bachland Government, Healthcare Right, the Continental Group, Turnbridge, CBRE, Mill and Page.
one question is, I mean, are we gonna make our final, decision today, or should we check some of these references?
We should check some.
Since we have them, should we take some time to check some of the references? Before we make a decision, or?
I think we should check references. We're spending all this money. Yeah, we also need to have them check for any bad work. I mean, if it's that possible, check them out to see if there's any liens, anything wrong, when they're, all that stuff, any work that has not been completed, any complaints by anybody.
Or we can make like a tentative, if all the references check,
132,
and they have no lien, no bad records, then we go with the lowest bidder.
132,832.
For which one?
J,
Those two things, the one,
Are you ready checking them?
J,
Okay, and that's for all of the items.
For the simple reason for this year, when you give us the first presentation, they want to make a mistake. There was a big deal about that's a road in it. So when you could mention it, and say, hey, that's how much of this is what we see. We are to really raise that point. We can see erosion. It must be a professional
Turn wrenches, pretty good. Just a good reference.
Item number 132,
ready, Derek?
132,883,46.
No, I'm doing now M&M.
Oh, I'm doing, okay. I was doing JES.
132.
No, 132.
Yeah, and 210 for the other. 210, 495.
The extra work that you guys quoted us, for example, doing the 3 extra areas, is that price a discount based on that you're already out here doing the work, or is that what it would normally cost us if we contracted
For
separately?
the asphalt, you mean for the simple?
Yeah,
The only reason is that you're out here already with the equipment.
Right.
That's the only reason. As you hear, it's cutting, compacting the sub base, backfilling, compacting base, and asphalt. 'Cause I don't think they go to 2 feet either, but they put that in there, so. I don't think it goes down, it go up to 2 feet, but we work the sub base, we make sure sub base is compacted, backfill with lime rock, compact, and asphalt.
Do you have
And to do a pothole that only costs you
Did you
15
get
bucks?
the total number?
210, 495.
Yeah, so-
The 31 one, the 31 hole,
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 50.
Yes.
Where was the quote, because I didn't see it. Which was the quote last week?
This is
Yeah, that gave us that.
The dead spot?
But it's,
They pay, like,
For the models,
yeah, that was.
it's $4,500.
That was a main. Yeah, we did that. $4,500.
no.
This is.
And that was for nice squares. I remember you gave me two quotes, one for nice square models and one for just.
Now, on the nice square, nice.
Yes.
And also, if they receive it in town.
So this is.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it because if it rains, it's gonna come out again.
So this is with the ceiling. The ceiling.
On the potholes?
4,000, yeah, 4,000, well, three things, 4,417. I just add, the last three. The last three, which is 465, 1482,
Yeah?
24/7.
Okay.
Yeah, we need that.
4417 on those three.
Right, 24/17. And the pipe hole and all of that, those with seal also, or?
No, ceiling is different. The ceiling comes apart, you never do, anytime you do any kind of asphalt, you can't seal it for 3 months. That's not included.
After 3 months.
After 3 months, it's a curing process. If anybody seals before 3 months or a little bit after, a little bit before, depending on how it looks, the asphalt will come off. That's all it's gonna happen. You have gravel, you have all kinds of problems. Nobody ever seals any new asphalt whatsoever.
And that's consistent with their specifications. With the RFP. The RFP is specified after 90 days.
Well, what was the total on the second one?
He said nobody seals them?
210, for everything,
You can,
210,
but you can't guarantee anything like that. I mean, you can do anything you want, but look, if you're gonna go by what you're supposed to do, you have to wait at least 90 days before you seal
I
coat.
have a subtotal
Do we need to seal it?
just the basics for each
It
one.
protects it. It's like, if you want to protect it from any kind of gas, fuel, oils, or deteriorates the asphalt, then you seal it. That's what happens, and that's what they do in the parking lots.
Yeah.
You seal exactly for the gas.
Yeah.
Something like a walkway is an iffy, because you don't have cars driving over it, but it will protect the asphalt. It will protect the asphalt.
So you recommend that we do it after 90 days?
After 90 days, you're ready.
On the roads, but not necessarily on the walkway.
On the walkways, is up to you. I recommend it because it's just something that you're sealing the asphalt. You know, it's protected.
It will protect it from future cracks,
From-
water and stuff like that?
Exactly. From
And
getting in, from seeping into anywhere where you have it. But like sinkholes and stuff like that, being a lake, so those are any kind of leak, if it works the sub base underneath, that doesn't guarantee that it doesn't collapse in some area or another. But that's by sprinkler systems, water leaks. If you have a water break, water pipe, water's like drilling.
Yeah,
So what
water-
happens, it does, and what happens, it collapses a little bit.
there's something
And
that,
that happens all over. That's no guarantee. That's done by water pipes, something like that, saying that it's not going to. Once you interrupt anything that has to do with the base or the sub base, you can have some kind of failure. You know, but if you don't, under normal conditions, you won't have a problem.
Okay, thank you. David, how long it take you to do what Robert Carlos is suggesting as reviewing, checking into the background, checking into the work of the company itself? How long your office might take?
To actually do the calls, it's not gonna take more than like 3 or 4 hours, you know, getting callbacks, things like that, maybe a half of it. An actual task at a time. It's just a matter of prioritizing it and doing it on the staff to get that done. that would be great.
Which that include the calling, include the checking with Business Bureau,
Great.
and all that, whoever you have to check.
Sure.
Okay,
I got a question. Who will be the agency in charge of complaints by consumers in this case? If it's a contractor like that, I would ask. What agency will that be?
It would be the licensing agency of the contractor.
Okay.
So the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, DBPR.
So all I will need only is his license,
Yes,
just to check him out.
yes.
All right.
okay, so you were saying by Monday of next week,
Yes.
you will be able to advise us?
In light of the fact that Monday's a holiday.
No, I'm sorry.
He's gotta go.
I'm sorry, we're sorry on that, I'm sorry. What's good next Tuesday, Wednesday?
By Wednesday, I think. Wednesday until Wednesday, and then we make other decisions.
Wednesday's good?
Yeah, based on the final.
Wednesday's good? All right, we gonna have a special meeting next week, Wednesday, at 8 o'clock. Keep that package. You can put the package out. The only thing with that is that I will need you to take the prices out. Yeah.
We have the password protected. No, if it doesn't have the prices, it's no value, no?
You can put them, give them a total.
Okay.
Give them a total. This is the total for that, for. The reason I say that is because, although we have it protected, someone would go, where we all have access to it, and then it's something that you can give to someone else. I just don't think it's ethical.
Okay.
What y'all think?
That's fine.
Right. Yeah, give them a total, give them a total, this is the total, yeah, that this is bid, this one is bid, and this is the total. And then you probably might, you can separate the last three, because the last three is different. Give them a total of the last three, and then you have a total of the top, and then you get a total, a subtotal of the top, subtotal of those last three, and then give them a total of.
What do you mean by the last three?
Last three have to do with separate. To me, it's separate. Last three have to do with the bumps, the potholes, and the singles.
Last three. Okay.
So give them a subtotal of that, a subtotal of the top, and then you have the total. This comes up to 132.
Okay.
Yeah, give them the name, give them everything as the name of the company, and keep, and you can say, if you know anything,
Yeah.
let us know by certificate because, and you let them also know that we will be making a decision on this Wednesday.
So next week.
Next week, so please, if they want to call, give them
Notice.
any remarks, anything they need to call to the meeting. I move that we make.
Can I ask you another question?
Oh, sure.
Just going back to the sealer, what kind of life do you think that adds to the actual?
The asphalt
Yeah.
adds quite a bit, it depends on what you're running. On this right here, you'll add on years to it. On the roadway, it depends on the amount of oil, what it wears, and what you use out there. The emulsion that you use, but it adds as protected, believe me. It seals everything so nothing seeps in. And it doesn't only protect the asphalt, it protects the base and also at the same time the sub-base. It doesn't let anything go in there, so it is something that I recommend, but depending on everybody's budget,
Now, it seems that the sealer is not part of the additional add-ons that we asked for the parking areas, correct?
That's correct.
So I assume that would be something that you would recommend for that area as well then, especially if the cars are parking there, they're bound to drip oil, et cetera. Yes. Now, if we wanted to add that on, you charge us the same price per square foot of the walkway? Or,
I forget what it's on there, but we would look and we take in consideration because it's such a bigger area, that we're talking volume.
okay,
We're talking volume. And depending on how many, and what sections we can divide it on, then we'd work with that. To give you an exact number right now would be crazy, because I don't know how many square feet we got out here on the parking lot, so.
Well, what are you speaking about is the unit?
yeah, the
You
cost
want
per unit,
75.
I mean, that would be,
Six.
Yeah, that would be the max price right there, what you're looking at, yeah.
and you look at the square footage, you know,
No idea, but, what we can do is have Nick review this and have someone with Dave review and also have we have it get into credibility review. Yeah. Then we will have enough comments in reference to this before that meeting.
Well, the speed bumps are painted yellow, so you wouldn't be seeing those. It says here,
no, not the speed bumps, just
the repairs.
but the parking areas, the sinkholes,
Yeah.
and potentially the potholes. Might be too small to worry about, trying to get what I can see, right?
But if
Too
you
small to
see-
worry about ceiling, yeah?
A 3x3, it's,
Not worth it.
Why, because of the price of the ceiler?
it's just the cost involved mostly in mobilization. Mobilization of people, mobilization of equipment, and everything else. It's just the environment of the mobilization. It's not feasible.
Sounds like a job for him.
I'll show you. 3 rings like we had with you later.
Do you have any other questions? Anything? For the gentleman about this stuff? Okay.
I just have a general question, maybe you can't answer this, sorry. But some of the prices between your bid and the other bid, I know you can't really talk about the pricing of another company, but, I mean, there's a vast difference there. Is that typical in your industry, or,
Right now, yes.
yeah?
Yeah, right now, yes. Yes, that's too many difference, big difference. And privacy and public bids, the difference is too big. That's according to how long you have the spares in the field. How long you have the equipment, proper equipment, or you have to rent the equipment, for example. The company is insisting that they have to rent it, including barricaded. We have all the property.
Okay,
So
so
that's why it can less.
you own all the
Basically,
equipment?
we own all of our equipment.
Okay,
We got
so,
for pavers, rollers, trucks, all area that we need to do any kind of work on the road, any kind of DOT, all that. So it's something that we do on a regular basis. It's not something that we go out and have to get equipment. We have the equipment. The majority of some of the people bidding, the difference is, a lot of times they gotta go out and rent these equipment. And to get a paving machine, it costs you $650 a day minimum without an operator. So, yeah, and if you can do it by hand, it just goes in the truck, so there's a lot involved. You know, there's a lot of factors involved here.
so part of what you're telling me is that the size and scope of business is determining a lot of your pricing, because this is your primary business, you own all the equipment, you do this in volume, so therefore your work units cost less. All right, how long have you been in business?
7 years.
7 years.
7 years with the property company, more than 14 years with another company, like what?
So if I gave you 2 minutes right now to tell me why I should hire you, what would you tell me?
Because you're gonna get quality.
Man,
Yeah.
how much experience do you have? You seem to know a lot about this.
In experience in asphalt,
Experience, yeah.
I would say about 18 years now. 18 years in asphalt. We do work for H&R, I do work for community, we do work for General Asphalt, or Southeastern, we do all the companies. All these companies that do all the, we do from drainage, all the way up to the asphalt, work in sub-base, base, and so on and so on.
We already don't include the more big one, reference. That's the more short reference. But almost right now, a month ago, we already finished Hialeah housing, the daycare, 76 and 10. We already did it, all pipeline, draining, the whole parking lot with the ramp, concrete and everything. Striping and everything.
Now, what is a 5-year warranty actually warranty?
We can't get a 5 year.
And that's how we.
And that's why we can't get a 5 year.
But why is it there?
Was that?
Why is it there?
No, that's something that we talked about earlier. That 5 years, to give asphalt for 5-year warranty is almost impossible for a lot of reasons. Asphalt deteriorates, a lot of things happen. People go, you have damage with water lines, you have, and then it would be unfeasible for us to come out, sprinkler system goes, you have a leak, something happens in the asphalt, coming back 3 years later, hey, my asphalt, I gotta repair a 2x2. I gotta send out somebody else to do it. And to already do the base again and go out for 5 years, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I was talking to my partner, but we talked to you the other day, for being given 5 years is just, we've never done it. We've never given 5 years. We've given 1 year, that's a max.
Have you
Flamingo
worked
Villas, everybody else done it.
You work for the Department of Transportation of Florida?
I work with the DOT. We have.
Sure.
Yes, we have.
Okay, because we have information from someone that worked with the department saying that don't take nothing below 5 years of warranty. And
Yeah.
all of the contractors give 5 years of warranty with FDOT.
5 years of even warranty.
Yes.
Tell you what, I've been in this business and without due
No,
respect.
no, I'm talking
For,
work with DOT.
I'm talking to DOT.
So you're saying that you don't give them 5 years?
I give them 5 years.
All right.
On that.
We investigate that. It's no problem.
That's,
We do the 5 years warranty at the material when work is structural material. Because the structural, you can give it for the manufacturer, you can give the 5 years. And the paint, you can give it more in 7 years. But in asphalt, you can't.
And I understand, so why,
Well,
I understand.
Yes.
well, are you talking about only asphalt?
only asphalt?
Only asphalt.
Only the asphalt.
Okay. All right, we need to investigate
No, I don't.
that.
For anything like associations, stuff like that, even roads we did, when it comes up to 2-3 years, material, you can give 10 years for material that is gonna be there, but warranty for anything that happens, deterioration, it's crazy. It doesn't happen. The roads are done every 2 years, every 3 years. Department of Transportation, why? We have to mill them and redo them. Why? Because water, again, oil, gas, it happens. If not, they wouldn't be doing these roads. And this is DOT.
But like what you said, you just said to us, road is different from a walk path. And a walk path, you're not getting over.
But you have damages. You have a lake. You have a lake. You have a wall that deteriorates from every time it rains. It deteriorates, it comes in, works on a sub-base, what happens? Sub-base starts going, the base starts going. You start cutting it a little bit. Then you have a problem, you call us back out. Then we gotta come back out here and do this. And under warranty, we guarantee what we
But you see what we have out there now?
Yeah, I see what you got out there right now.
How many years you think?
That's about.
Yeah, you have a lot of years,
I
but.
was about to
but,
ask that because I've been living in this community, you know, for how long? For 19 years.
You're right. But let
19
me
years.
explain something. After a year, so a homeowner is gonna come by and say, whoa, roots are coming up. The asphalt came up. They're gonna call JES, come out here and repair it. a root,
But-
we had a factor, something, that's the warranty that gives. You can warranty, the asphalt's still good, but something happens that we have no control
Okay,
over.
no. We can say to you, we can say to you, you need to give us a warranty and the work done. Okay? Now, you have to give us 5 years warranty and the work done. Now, if root come up and bring up the alpha, that's nothing to do with you, that's by the nature.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's nothing to do with you.
how about a water pipe or sprinkler system?
Anybody that do something that don't have nothing to do with your work is not your responsibility.
Who makes
That has to be
determination?
The determination,
Well, it has to
the
be
determin,
specified on there.
well, that
It has to
determination,
be
But you,
specified.
so what you can do is
You're right.
specify
Okay.
all the work type, the warranty that you're looking for.
okay, but we can specify that in the contract.
Well, you know, in 5 years, the asphalt's not gonna go to, asphalt's gonna last you 20 years. You'll have asphalt 20, 30 years. You'll have it 20, 30 years, you're not gonna have a problem. You'll have asphalt for 20 years. Now, guaranteed 5 years under the warranty with what we've dealt with associations, it gets crazy. Because we're here talking, but once you start a homeowner going, oh, this is going, oh, this little piece came off, and then, you know, even asphalt before it cures, you're not supposed to drive on it, like, you can drive on it moving. You're not supposed to put anything heavy on it, and I know that's not happening here. But I'm just saying, when we do parking, that's what we do. People put a jack, it sinks. A month later, it's not cured yet. What happened? We got a hole in our asphalt. Think it's no good, it's sunk, wait a minute, it's not cured yet. It takes up to like 6 months. Then when it gets completely cured, then they put a jack and nothing happens. It gets like the street that you go, it becomes hard, extremely hard. But before that happens, people do all kinds of crazy stuff and they call you back and tell you, oh, yeah, but look, there's a hole here. Say, yeah, there's a hole there, man, because somebody put a jack there.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
We will do the investigation.
Yeah, yeah.
And the parameters of the warranty, we will.
Exactly. We specify that,
legal.
we'll good to deal with it.
And the
Because
contract
that,
document,
I'm
we can
covered
specify what
by,
it
and we
is.
can put in there that if there's any doubt, what we do is we do a core check. A core check is done by engineers. What we do is we cut out a section. They do it, they take it to labs, the engineers determine, not me or the homeowners. So an engineer determines, says, wait a minute, this asphalt is good, it's compacted the way it's supposed to be, everything is done the way it's supposed to be. This is not something that has to be covered, that has to be covered by the association. Or whatever, it covers our
That's fine.
RN, which is called a core check.
That's fine.
And sometimes when there's a doubt, that a lot of people become asphalt experts when we do everything. No, it's true.
I know.
You have gravelly, you do an association, you have gravelly, and people say, oh, the rocks are coming up, it's coming, it's ridiculous, my asphalt. No, that's something normal. That's gravelly. Where you have a curve, you'll feel the little rocks come up on your car because it's on any way where you turn. You know, on a straightaway, you're not gonna have the same traffic. It's like having a traffic road all day long going up and down. So that's the difference. And those little things are just, people don't know, but everybody comes out and starts looking. There's a little hole in the rock. We don't control that. We ask for S3 and the rock is this big, that's what we got for the
But we won't have a problem.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying the little things, showing you the scenarios that we get into. I do because I deal on it on a daily basis.
Yeah, but
You know, so-
I understand what you're saying. But I feel that if there's a legal contract with both attorneys.
For workmanship, there's not a problem.
It shouldn't be a
The
problem.
workmanship is not a problem.
Okay.
And yeah, as long as we can do and work out core checks, everything else, we'll go with it.
Okay.
That's all.
M&M is providing a warranty?
That was part of the bid, and that's what concerns me a little bit, because I know that was a concern for you guys, and I know you brought it up. What concerns me is that we stuck to the 5 years and you still bid on it, which means you were essentially agreeing to the 5 years.
That's my.
Why is
concern,
that?
that's what I was-
Why did you still bid? Why didn't you say, that's totally unreasonable, nobody's gonna do 5 years? Now, don't get me wrong, when you're sitting here explaining to me, I fully understand your stance. Okay, I completely understand that a tree root uproots it in 3 years, that I don't think you should be responsible either. But it does concern me that you still bid on this knowing that that was totally unreasonable.
Because when I was in the meeting right here, and the next day, Mr. Davis sent the information, they say there are no changes, because we have too many, additional to the 5 years warranty is too many issues that we have to discuss before the contract document. I know the bid, we already signed, it's my sign, JES, it's my name, so I already signed because we're supposed to discuss. If you show me by the contractor for working with you together, we have to discuss the warranty and too many issues that we have in the bid. Because it's everything, and the previous meeting, we are not currently, we are not in the same page, because I have to, it's not
So what you're telling me though is that you worked all that out through the contract process, because you're not comfortable with what it was here, but you know you provide some type of warranty.
After you show me, we sit with yours and discuss any items. Because you have a liquid damage, for example, with 120 days, calendar days. So, I'm gonna agree with this, but what about the bonus? If it will finish before, for example. And too many issues there. Because the proposal, the big proposal, they have basically the old proposal has it. And it's no straight according with the job that we're supposed to do. That's not the rules.
Okay.
But on this rule, we can change before we send the contract.
So you're telling me this is just a framework and the specifics of what's gonna happen won't occur until we negotiate the contract? Is that what I heard?
No, what we said, what was discussing, we had one day to do that, that was one of our main concerns.
Right.
And we had to put in the bid, which we talked, and we said to see, and we would like to, all the contractors that were there that day are very uncomfortable with that 5-year warranty. Even though they bid, to bid it would have to do the specifications that, of something that doesn't have to do for occurrences like damages caused by nature, other certain damages. We put in it, we can live with that. As far as they're holding up, that would have to be specified in a contract, yeah.
I got a question. Why don't we ask them to do an addendum and specify what they cover in 5 years?
Well, that's basically what you're saying we'll do for the contract process.
Yeah. Because
Well, they can cover everything in 5 years. What we need to specify is what they won't be covering.
That's more.
That's a different,
Oh,
more
that's-
rationale.
They
It's
get-
more
they get-
rationale, that's a different.
In other words, they get, what they have here, or anyone that have the alpha and everything, they can warranty it for 5 years. Now,
who's
if
warranty for 5 years? These
No.
people, M&M, they not even here.
they can warranty, anyone that we choose to get warranty for 5 years.
Yeah, but I need to hear them say because
Why they are not
When we
here?
was with another two
they're not here.
contractors,
They may come on and pull the same thing and they say, well, you know.
No, but what I'm explaining to you is, that's a negotiation thing, but what I'm explaining to you is, what we need to look at is what can be exclusion. And the exclusion, for example, was the roof coming out.
Or a pipe bursting out.
Right. Those are exclusion. You can't place any guilt on any company for something that the resident have done.
I agree with you that.
Okay, so, but for the work they can do, for the outfit they can slay, everything they can do out there, we've been warranted 5 years. No. Again, yes, it becomes that exclusion. What is the exclusion? We need to specify that.
I heard,
So once we specify that, that's where, but we're not going into no differences with prices. We're not dealing with prices here. We're dealing with a specific.
That's what I'm saying,
And-
the one an addendum specifying what is not included.
Again,
Well,
yes.
To add,
they can specify one thing,
mhm,
okay? And what you're talking about is limited in this scenario. What all we need to specify is just like they come to specify, or the law specify that if it's act of God, they're not responsible.
sorry.
You know, if it's act of nature, they can't be responsible. If it can be proven that a resident cut through that alpha to run a sprinkler or a pipe, you can't charge them for that. And those are specific exclusion because you cannot say that a company is guilty for something like that.
And that's what we like to work with, because a lot of times that's what we get caught up in. Wait a minute, you guarantee that you gotta come, and we'll be coming back in 5 years, doing work. That's where we find ourselves after so many years of experience. You come back, doing work, or somebody does something, or they come with a pick, or you take it out, and, hey, this was taken out, this was not damaged.
If we find
Workmanship is not a problem.
Yeah, but I got a few questions now to follow up on. This conversation brought a few concerns to me. One, if you mentioned something, again, I understand somebody doing something, putting a sprinkler system, doing something that they should not have done. You mentioned the lake. When you were talking before, you mentioned the lake, some kind of situation with the lake, that the foundation or the base might create an issue with the asphalt that was put in. Does this scope of work includes putting some kind of measures to prevent situation with the lake, not created by a human being, but the nature of the environment causing the asphalt to break down? And does this include anything for that? Or what can be done about that?
I'll tell you, the asphalt, it's not an issue. What happens is, when we talk about that, again, act of God, a storm, another Andrews or a Katrina,
Yeah.
water starts running down, water flows the easiest way through asphalt to wherever it goes. Once something goes, the asphalt's gonna collapse. What do? They come back and they say, you, JS, Jose, you're in charge of that division. You don't know nothing. This thing collapsed. Wait a minute. They don't see that it's caused by the water.
Yeah.
Water's like a drill. And once it gets underneath, I can't guarantee the job that I did because I don't have a foundation anymore. I don't have anything underneath. I can't do nothing. And a lot of people want you to come back and fix this and say, wait a minute, you got a contract here. There's nothing that says here that human nature. You don't have anything on here.
Exactly. So
You
that-
need to come back and fix this.
That
Oh,
need
we
to
find
be
ourselves in
clarified,
court.
expanded, what
And
does
that's
the
just something that we need to specify.
cover, you know?
What he said again, what's not covered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's not, workmanship is not a problem. You have to hold it up for 20 years. I can guarantee, oh yeah, Alpha's gonna be there the next 20 years, it's still here.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is something like a storm, something where the asphalt, my concern is on the lake, water runs to the lowest point. And where's your lowest point right now? Towards that lake. So all that water's gonna be running up and down that asphalt, and anywhere there's a hole, it's gonna look for the shortest way. It ain't gonna look for the longest way. It's like, wait a minute, we're gonna go around this asphalt. If there's something that's going, that's where it's gonna go. And once it starts going, it starts drilling, and it'll get down right through there, cause a sinkhole, and everything's gonna collapse.
Now, I mean, based on your experience of 18 more years, whatever, if you look at what we have right now, what we do say is the main reason why we have it the way it is right now. Is it like something by nature, all the storms and the hurricanes that have passed through in the 10 years? Or is it like it is now because somebody made a mistake and they're putting sprinklers and putting pipelines and people, based on your experience, because then we're gonna spend all this money and guess what? In 3 years, it's gonna be a hurricane, a few storms, and we're gonna have the same thing again in about another 7 years.
Yeah, but I've been living here over 20 years, and the lake is fine. I mean, the asphalt's not that bad.
Me too.
Yeah,
it's 20 years.
20 years, you know, no.
I've been here 19
It's
years.
just, it's wear and
And
tear.
it's the same.
It's wear and tear.
I'm just putting out there a hypothetical situation.
Exactly.
I'm not putting out there that's something that I see happening out there. It's just a hypothetical. I'm just trying to for people to focus where I'm coming from, my point. Not that that's happening, because I'm not saying anything's going on with that lake out there. I'm just putting a hypothetical situation, let's get this clear. That's something that could happen and what happens, but not that anything's going on out there.
No, it's
That's
okay.
not what's been around, is what I'm saying.
But my last question is to the, I mean, gentlemen, you mentioned just before, if I understood that the warranty was a big issue, but that there were other issues, other concerns that you have with this bid. Is it, I just trying to understand whether, as Paul was saying, you don't have any other major concern that you think will have an impact on the quote prices that you have given, because the worst case scenario to me, that we go into the contract and then, oh, no, what about this, we have to change this, now it's gonna be more money on this, or, I mean, I just wanna make sure for everybody here, the main issue is the warranty, there's no other issue from the ones, I believe that I heard you mention, that there were many issues.
I think that's only one.
Do you feel that?
That's only one after the warranty, that's only one issues that we already have in the proposal, or the big package. That's the liquid damage. The liquid damage for $500 each day after the 120 days, calendar day.
I saw that, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with this, but what about if we finish before? That's a bonus, that's only the question.
That would be
I'm
great.
sorry.
No, that's up to you.
No, it's up to you. Okay.
That's up to us. No, and he says that in other words, if he finishes first, if he gets, that's why,
It is
is it like a bonus?
We're gonna charge him a penalty.
No, that's
longer. No, that's his argument, is
The
that we're
word
gonna
is-
charge him a penalty if he goes over, right? So he wants to know, are we gonna then give him a bonus for coming under?
No,
That's his question, and it's a fair question.
I already signed for all years, all years, I already signed the documents with this liquid damage. In particular in one building, we have 18 months for fixing all the building. 345 Ocean Drive, $4.9 million. And we're supposed to do in 18 months. I already finished in 1 year. So, I already signed the document, okay, I pay you the liquid damage, but if we finish before, you pay me the bonus. They say, okay, but they don't think about they're supposed to, the potential, the main power, that we're supposed to start is for 4 swing stages. I already did with 10 swing stages, so I finished it at least time. So that's the point, because I understand the liquid damages. I understand the time, I understand the penalties, so that's the only issues. This one and the 5 years, that's the only two. I think it's no.
The hours, the working hours.
Oh, the working hours,
Working
yes.
hours.
Because we're looking for working in Saturdays, because we're already working Saturday in condominium. We finished 2 years ago, Flamingo Villas. More than 3,000 tons asphalt, and resurfaced with bumpers. And we finish in 3-4 months. At least that's a big
I got it.
meter mark.
How early do you start working? In the morning?
That depends on.
6.5. 6. We are already in the yard.
At 6 o'clock in the morning?
But we understand.
He's talking on
You
site.
don't make a lot of noise?
He's talking on site. He's talking about on site. He's not talking about what time you get to your yard.
No, we
He's talking about on
start.
site.
Yeah, what time you start working
About
here?
7:30, 8 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30, try to make it reasonable during the week.
Yeah, 'cause-
During Saturdays, we let it go to 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people
sleep.
sleep.
We understand that's a condominium. We understand in the Saturdays and Fridays and afternoon. You have to minimize the noises. You have to minimize the big conversation with the more noises that's the guys. When they, hey, give it down, hey, hey, like that's the more noise. So we're with that. And Saturdays, okay?
Let's proceed.
Alright. Thank you,
All
Fred.
right.
Okay.
Thank you. You have any other
More
questions?
patience.
Okay. I can give the opportunity to the floor. You have a question?
No, yeah, it was already answered.
Okay. Any other question for them?
Yeah, I have an issue. I think, you know, we're giving you the opportunity now to stand behind your product. You know, I think when I go buy a car and a model offers 3-year warranty and another model offers 5-year warranty, I think that says something about the product. And we gave you the opportunity to come here and stand behind your work, and you don't feel comfortable with that. You're willing to say, no, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and I stand behind it for 1 year. And so what that tells me is, I'm gonna spend $130,000 on something that most likely is gonna have problems in 5 years.
Let me explain something. I went to the extreme scenario of things that can happen. That during my lifetime, doing this type of work, I've run across. If you go to a dealer, yes, you're right, they give you that warranty, and when you go take your car, like I take my Chevy, like I've taken my Dodge, they've sold me a warranty for $800, and it covers the engine and powertrain. You know what that means? Nothing. That what it covers when a cylinder goes bad, that's not covered. That thing runs everything electronic, everything comes out of your pocket. So we're comparing apples and oranges. We're not comparing something
You're
that.
referring to an extended warranty. When you go to a Ford and you buy a brand new Ford, that brings 3 years. You go buy a Lexus and it brings 5-year warranty from the manufacturer, bumper to bumper. That manufacturer stands behind that product.
I stand behind my product.
I know, for just 1 year.
No, I stand behind my product for 20 years. I stand behind my product for 20 years.
Yeah.
My work, 20 years. We use 3 to 5 ton rollers. I don't use 1.5 ton. We use 3 to 5 ton rollers, okay? We use S3 asphalt, workmanship, and the asphalt plant, what they give me. I don't make the product. So I can't guarantee. So that's where I'm trying to explain to you, if something does come up, a scenario, we need to agree on something. Wait a minute. Don't blame me if it's something happens. Let me prove that it wasn't my fault. That's when the engineers come in, we do a core check, we check it out. If it's bad, then we go after the asphalt plant. But what happens is all the time, when something happens, they want to go after the person that did the job. Again, a rainstorm comes, water goes, it sinks. Here we've had this discussion. Half of the owners, oh, who was this that did this crappy job? Don't ever do that. That's exactly what goes through their head. They don't know what happened. They don't know anything about asphalt. They don't know anything about what happens when the water gets underneath, when you don't have a base to work with, a sub-base, and then everything falls on us. And then we'll be calling and say, wait, we need you to guarantee it. That's what I'm trying to get to. I stand behind my product. I can give you 30 companies right now, and I can stand everybody else, and they know there ain't nobody. I consider myself not good, the best in what's asphalt. My job, what I do, I know what I do for a living. And asphalt is what I do. So somebody telling me what's right or wrong, what's done properly or done improperly, I'm not gonna go there. But when I'm gonna get technical with somebody, I don't need 60 homeowners that work at Sears, the other one's a doctor, telling me about asphalt. Because I don't go to his doctor's office telling him, listen, your operation is not done right. And that's what we have in these associations all the time. And I don't mean to sound, I don't want to be like, because you might not say, but I'm trying to be specific about something that I've lived. And this is something that we get on a daily basis. I stand behind my product. My workmanship, yeah, I guarantee I'll give you 5 years on that. I don't have any problem with that. But I won't stand behind something that happens by nature, something that happens because sprinklers, something that happens because homeowner does, or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to get. What's not covered in here. You took a big parameter and said, give me 5 years, but you didn't tell me what's not covered in 5 years. So once I agree to that, I'm stuck to anything that happens on that. And that's not fair. But this is gonna come back and slap me. It's gonna come back and hit me, and it has before. And I've run into that experience. So now what I want to be more specific, wait a minute. If it's because I mess up as a human being, I'm gonna take care of it. If I did something wrong, I'm gonna man up and say, I did it wrong, I'm gonna repair it. But if something happens by nature, and you want me to come do it, roots come up and you want me to come fix it, wait a minute. You're gonna have me out here, you gotta be working for you. I'm gonna be out here 20 times a month with a crew, mobilization, everything else. And what we gotta stand behind our guarantee, because that's our name. So what we're trying to do is just clarify that we're trying to go into something and we want to make sure that you understand, like we understand, we stand behind our product, we want you to understand that if something happens that doesn't, because of our product or our workmanship, then we take care of it, it's our fault. But we can't handle something done by nature, or by roots, or by a homeowner, or whatever it comes. So he explained it in a good, probably a lot better than me. What's not covered. That's what we need to clarify.
Well, we can do, I'm sure David can find some good examples, or talking to the lawyer, whatever, that we can clarify exactly what are we asking them to, I mean, guarantee. In terms of their job, not
Well, it's not.
Why is
acts of nation.
That's-
I think you have a good attorney that can-
David, the issue with the permits. Whoever we contract with would get permits and everything, big permits.
Running through it.
No, it's nothing, there's any
I don't see
comment,
this in-
any comments about the permits. Basically, the permits is by the association,
No, that's just an.
or included, that's depending the proposal of the big package.
Right, I remember in a meeting, we talked
Nothing
about
about
it, no? We talked about it in the last meeting, or before that, we were gonna have that.
How much for the permit for the work site?
No, the permit is in Hialeah, right?
No.
No.
Yeah,
It is
No,
Dade
I-
County. It is Dade County.
They
They
come.
count it?
County.
So, 1,300.
So you have to have enough.
If there's another elevation.
The only difference is the shop drawings at the railings.
There you go.
If we don't need a notice of approval, that's great, that's more lower price. But if you have to submit the shop drawings at the city, to Dade County, that's a more expensive.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
How
pay.
about the railings?
Yeah, the railings and the new request on that.
No, you and I know that you gotta submit that. That's-
Oh, yeah, no, we submitted, but what I'm saying is that the permit, we have to pay more in
Okay,
13.
but we have paid cost of it.
Yeah,
All right.
why is
no, we're
it-
talking about the cost of the permit cost,
Yeah, we paid the cost of permit.
yeah.
Okay.
the second bidder, why isn't here?
Sorry?
M&M, they too far, that's what they said.
They would say they.
2.1.4 permits,
They
fees, and
work.
notices.
Huh?
They late work, but every
Contractor
company
shall
makes a
secure and
decision.
pay for all licenses.
Yeah, he told me when I give the package personally, Mr. David,
They late
if you
work,
want to go there,
but
Which page?
all companies have the right to come in and sit in.
No, of the.
They didn't make it. We can't tell you come.
The only reason we come in, to the majority of the meeting, is to answer the questions that people have. Especially when it comes down to
No, it's actually in the form, that's what we're getting on, we're getting on the package.
Okay.
Or-
Okay, I make a motion that we meet and that would be May, May the 29th at 8 o'clock. Only to make a decision and these bids.
Second motion.
Been properly second, discussion. All of those in favor say aye. And there, if you can do all the research, you can place Alex on the research, then you forward the information to us, we're ready to get it also. And we can look at that, we can talk with Guillermo Prego, we'll have Nick look into the different, what DOT have also. And once we make a final decision, then we can send this over to the attorney for him to, you all have a contract? If we decide we want to go with you, or anything.
Do you have a standard contract? as
yeah,
well?
what contract you want? AIA contract?
I'm sorry?
The AIA contract or
Architect.
simple contract?
We would say the contract to, if we decide, would be the contract for the project.
For the project, yeah, we can decide. I have too many examples, I don't have too many examples for the contract. I send to you, you say if you working with this or
Okay.
so.
Okay, thank you very much for
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the last comments that were in, I'm not looking for only one contract, I'm not looking for the continue with working with yours. So I will be here for only one, this contract. We continue.
Thank you for coming in.
No,
That was very
thank you for
nice.
having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we're going to secure the camera. And that will be, thank you, update on that.
This is no easy task.
Thank you.
This is an easy task.
Security cameras.
Security cameras.
We're working hand in hand with Comcast, all I can say is numerous times, every single day. And what I thought was gonna be, you place an order and, within a week or maybe 10 days, have cameras up and running, it just didn't happen. It was about 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. They had the construction part of it done. So they actually had the lines up to this building, the Comcast line here. The Comcast line is already up to the guardhouse, but it's that last piece of the puzzle. And it was complicated because we had the wrong address. They called it a street and it's really a terrace and it has to be a precise address. I guess I don't want to bore you with the details, but the latest is, and you have a memo here in front of you, they have scheduled installation on May 23rd. It was my hope and dream to have a training here an hour before the meeting tonight and be able to show you cameras so that you could be able to go home after the meeting tonight and start playing in the comfort of your own home, rewinding video and downloading it to your cell phones, however you want to do it. But I apologize, it just didn't happen tonight. It's going to happen on the 23rd. If Comcast does what they say they're going to do, it's really, our hands are tied. I've gone to many different levels of their management. I remember Mitch Anton was here a few months ago. I called Mitch. I said, come on, give us a break, see what you can do. Go to bat for us. And he got me to the same person that, I was able to get to myself.
Okay, so we have the 23rd.
You have it in writing.
Okay.
Not that it's going to do much good. All we can do is just hope and pray at this point, honestly. That's where we're at.
Are these delays costing us money in any way?
No.
Are we paying for any service that we're not getting or anything like that?
Actually, we should be getting something in return for all of the delays that we're going to make sure that, it was funny, and I'll just give you a little aside. I checked there, while I was going through all of the struggles and everything, I checked the Comcast guarantee. And that Comcast guarantee 2 weeks ago said, you are guaranteed to have an installation unless you're like in a really rural area within 30 days. I checked it 2 days ago and they've removed that stipulation from their guarantee.
Wow.
Yeah, it's between 2 weeks ago and today, they've removed that.
Well, we don't have a copy of that.
I don't have a copy of that.
Wow. People bring it up to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
I
got
did bring it up to them anyway.
Yeah.
And what they
And I
say?
wrote a lot of other things. They just basically didn't answer.
Okay.
It's being downloaded on the site, your website.
On their website, yes. On the website.
That's gotta be cached somewhere right out.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Please.
Where?
Can you find that out?
There'll be a cached version. If you go to Google,
Uh-huh.
there's a little tab and it says cache.
Okay.
There's also a website called Wayback.
Yeah.
That allows you to go back in time.
Got to write that one down.
Can you help me find that?
We can find that info.
When are you gonna go against Comcast? They're behemoth. What are you gonna tell them?
I mean, I have this guy
No,
literally
but
crying on the
we
phone.
just want to have a copy.
Just call us the customer service department.
Because
Speak to the head of it.
we can,
Listen, this
we
is
can
happening.
get
What's going
credit
on?
for this. So that's all.
Right, Dylan?
David, all I can say
Did
is,
that and.
I know you did.
And much,
They and I
much
know
more, much more.
thank you for dealing with Comcast. As someone who's dealt with them regularly in the past, I know how.
So my last point is that I talked to the guys that are doing the IT work for us. I said, you know, I'm at the end of my rope. Let's just go to AT&T. He goes, you can go to AT&T, but it's going to be 10 times worse.
I disagree, but.
The installation or for the moment?
No
AT&T
installation.
Well,
No.
AT, I don't know about
AT&T
ten
is
works.
expensive.
I know AT&T.
I used to work for them.
Is bad
Yeah.
because they're not.
I used to work for them.
They're not. But I know they're more expensive.
On the DSL,
Yeah, they were not.
and we, at least I stood behind that product.
They good.
AT&T is expensive.
They're expensive, but they the best.
Huh?
They the best.
They have quality because.
Anyways, let's go. Come on.
Anyway.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
Marvella Park, we go to the Marvella Park West Agreement. That there, the only thing I can say at this time is that we are doing some investigation. Nick decided to do some investigation to report. And once I'm thinking that he should complete that within a couple of weeks, once he gets some of that investigation done. Of the contracts.
Oh, the
About anything that we can do
Oh,
with the West. And then, once he have that clear, then he will let us know, and then we make a decision.
I got something, bro. I'm doing something else. Is any way?
Got to be the West?
No, we have to.
Okay, so.
What is, I have a question about that. What is that agreement with the West? What are we talking about?
The gate agreement.
The what?
The gate.
Oh, the gate?
System.
To
Yeah.
have that's something that's all one system?
Well, right now, it's not one system because they have a security company, we have one. But the concern right now is for them to upgrade what they have there and us upgrading over here or doing, upgrading it. The problem is that we want our agreement that we want to sign now. We have one in place, but we want to sign a new one that say if any side break down for any reason and it can get, we need to repair it within a certain time frame. If you don't repair it, then the other side will come in and get it repaired within 24 hours. Clear example, they have that more than 5-6 years, they exit with the arm. And people was coming through there. And that board previously never did anything about that. So they didn't enforce the contract that was there. We need to enforce the contract or do something different, and that's what we are. Right now, they have not done much because anything they do, we already told them we will file something legally on that. Because they're not supposed to upgrade anything. So right now we're at a standstill, but we're doing some additional investigation because we're at a point that we have to make a decision and move aggressively. And we want to make sure that before we make a decision and move aggressively, we have all the information and all the knowledge we need to have. So we're right now at that point. We are not revealing what is investigated right now because we don't want to make that public. But once everything is completed, we will make that public. Because there is a security problem here. Why? Because over there, if you have seen anyone come in through that side and the resident side are waiting, they open the gate. Anyone.
But I think that that's on both sides.
Yeah,
it is on both sides.
it happens on this one.
I think that that's on both sides. And I mean, I've been here for maybe 10 years, and I don't understand why it is that every community that I go to has a normal working situation, and we've gone through different devices, whether it be at first we had this small skinny thing or something else after that, and now these decals, and nothing ever works.
Okay,
Everybody else has something that works, but for some reason we don't.
right. You've been in community, and all of you've been in community that is one community. This is two communities. You have a west and you have a east.
Mhm.
That's the problem.
Oh, we're still talking about not even one side working property.
Sorry?
Our
We're still
side,
talking about not even one side working property.
Okay, but when you say about one side not working properly, are you saying that consistently one side not working properly?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so consistently every day you see somebody come through this, the
Oh,
east side?
I come through there every day without, and I come through in different cars.
Okay, right, all right. There was and I don't know, well, David spoke earlier.
I heard that. I heard that, and I was hoping, I guess, that will make a difference. but-
And we have upgraded all the cameras. And they had a meeting on Friday. Effective now, anyone that is not doing the job over there will be automatically replaced. Now, I won't compare it with the west side.
No, you don't.
I've seen the difference,
No.
but
No.
you're right, there's been some issues.
Yeah, I'm not saying, it's not, the way to move forward is not saying that we're better than
Yeah.
them. You know, the way to move forward is probably even to set an example. But I think it's ridiculous. It's really bad. It's really bad.
And when you talk about upgrading the system, what exactly is that?
They would like to place what do they punch?
An automated system?
Animated service
Call box.
at certain time frame of the day, and then at certain time that they think is busy, have a security guard.
Right.
That's what they want.
No code system.
The code system.
And where do we stand, I guess, on that?
Our position is that what we would like is really close this up. Close this up as whole Lake and the Green have, that only the resident comes in with a barcode. Only the resident with a barcode. And over here, all visitors will come through.
So only visitors coming through here, residents coming through here.
Resident can come through anywhere.
Right, visitors and residents,
And
only residents.
Yeah, make this side,
Just like.
this side exclusively residents.
Yeah.
Right, just like Lake and the Green.
Right.
I think that,
Just like Lake and the Green. Lake
But I
and the
believe
Green.
it should be the opposite because we work better than
Okay.
them.
The reason we looked at not being the opposite is because we have a shorter distance from the guardhouse to the street. Over here, yes, it's shorter, but there's nothing done. So they can.
Traffic can back up without causing other
Yeah.
issues. If it
And
backs up
besides,
over
we
here,
have.
you're in the school and everything else.
so basically completely automated is completely is out of the question because of the distance.
The
Completely
consistent-
automated over here,
No, on all sides, completely automated.
that's
The-
up for debate still.
That's up.
Because I mean, in my experience, I mean, just because of my line of work, I have a lot of experience with gates. Completely automated is the best way. It's the safest way.
The code system.
Well,
you
the
told me.
completed automated works,
Until it breaks.
depends on the audience.
I mean, I'm talking about secure wise, completely automated. Because whenever you have a person,
Okay.
obviously they're
Okay, but you talking about the community that working for safety,
right.
and that's why I say audience. There's a problem in this community. People don't cooperate.
Cooperating.
Yeah, cooperate. They have no cooperation with security.
I agree.
Okay, that's the biggest problem we have here.
Right.
Now, we make it automated. Next thing, break it because everybody in a rush, some, but not everybody in a rush, and it create a problem.
Right.
It can be a nightmare. And no directors are on payroll. All of it is voluntary. Management is our ground. Whoever you're gonna have to come and fix it, we're gonna have to call them.
Right.
It can create an issue. And I think you've been living here longer than
Since
me.
91.
Didn't they have a gate before?
Yeah,
Unmanned gate?
unmanned, it was a rolling gate.
And what happened?
It broke. People would
And-
bump it and it'd go off the track and
Okay. I see this thing working beautiful.
Everywhere.
Going Broward up. Beautifully work.
And it saves you the money of having the guard there.
I agree with you. Once you hit certain part in Dade, these kind of things is an issue. The people in Lake and the Greens, I would say that it seems like they're working beautiful. They have one side that is only resident, one side that is 24 hours.
Right.
Okay, and they have a rover inside, which is good. That's what we would like to see also. But that's one community. This community out east and west association and the folks and the west association do not want to reach to the point where we all believe in what's important is safety in the community. Why? Because they're talking about costs. They don't want the cost going up. They don't want the cost about this. You know what they said to us about when we say you need to have maintenance in case something breaks down? They don't want to pay for maintenance because the president said that so far he's the one that's been maintaining the gate and fixing the gate. And we told him, what if you get sick? What if you move? What if something happens? What if you go on vacation and this thing breaks? Who can do it? So we're having problem in understanding because our unreasonable position.
Right.
Okay? The other thing is, when we meet with them, you never meet with the board. And I think it's only three of them on the board. It's only that president. And sometimes property management. So what gets to the rest of the other two, we don't know. Or what gets to the community, we don't know.
Right.
Everything is in limbo over there.
That's a big problem.
I think I agree with you with the community being part of the problem, because like you said, you know, they'll break the gates, or sometimes, you know, they'll get into arguments with the security for not just letting them go through. But I think a lot of that has just been because of habits and what everybody is used to. Lakes and the Green is already used to a system, and that works. All the other communities are used to the system. I think you have to kind of
Reevaluate.
re-educate the homeowners with, yeah, that was happening before, but not no more. And if the line gets backed up and the people are beeping and they're getting loud or whatever, you just have to enforce it, because there's no way of fixing it just saying, okay, the easy route is just letting this person just go. Okay, let's just let them go too. You know, let's just let them go, because it's never gonna get fixed. You have to deal with it now, and then they're gonna start learning. Maybe it might take 6 months, or maybe it might take a little bit longer, but eventually everybody's gonna know, no, this is the way that it works. And if you wanna get in here, you have to get in here this way.
Yeah.
And we agree with you. That's why we began the process 2 years ago. We began the process 2 years ago, little by little, and tightening things up little by little. Okay, this little meeting that they have Friday, we're really not supposed to happen because we already been talking about that with them and that. But now, we had a problem with the camera system. It wasn't as effective. The camera was sometimes want to work when it want, it didn't want to work with. So we had some camera problems. Now we updated everything. Right now, there's nothing can happen at the pool or at the gate that we are not aware of. As getting a CV, and right now at the gate, there's an audio camera right there. So anything that happens, you can here in Beverly also, so you can see them here in Beverly. Now, that's why we decided, at this point, we said, okay, this is it. Everyone that comes to the visitor side must be checked in. You can live here, you've got to be checked in. Because that person that lives here and check them in, time and time again, can get tired, fill out the application and get a sticker. We only want you to get a sticker. If you don't want to get a sticker, that's fine, that's your decision, but you didn't be going through the visitor. We don't care if it takes 3 hours for you to come through the visitor side. That's not important to us. If you're a resident, you will be able to pass easily. But if you're a visitor, the security will take the time and will pass you through. Okay? But you have to be processed. If the security don't process you, any of us that see that happen, and the management and the security supervision, they will be dismissed. We don't want it because we are paying them to do their job, we expect that job done. So
Right, I think the audio and the video will be good because you can get a license plate, follow that license plate to the home, and even knock on their door and confront them about the situation that happened.
well, the license plate things is only if somebody damaged it, anything on there. If there's altercation, depending on at what level it is, police can be involved, police will be able to see the video, listen, and police will go and deal with it. We don't deal with anything because that's police job. But we will call police, they are instructed to call and police in case anything, you know. I would say that between this month and next month, we will know what can happen. Because now we have access to seeing some more than what we used to see. So we've been trying to deal with the security at this side. But we don't know what's happening on that side. Okay, we've been, and we are aware of security issues. And we've been trying to deal with it. But there's 2 entrances, and we don't control one side.
But don't get me wrong neither, I'm not saying anything negative or anything like that on purpose. As a matter of fact, I think things have gotten a lot better since you guys have taken over. 100%, you know, it's definitely moving in the right direction. I just think that it just needs to continue moving in that direction, you know, and the security, the gate, I mean, it's something that I see as kind of like stayed stagnant a little bit.
We want to change that gate right now, but we've been holding off because of the same agreement thing. So hopefully we will be able to get some defined information by next month, and then we will be able to move on ahead. But if we can close it out, we close it out. But if we can't be to certain understanding, we don't mind having it 24 hours. We just make it barcode for the resident. And unless you live in Marietta Park, you cannot have a barcode. You have to live here, your license and everything need to be to you. Not that secure you 100%, but at least we trying to detour other problems.
Yeah, nothing's gonna eliminate it 100%, but it always helps.
But the best case scenario would be to close that one off completely. That would be your best case scenario.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, we can agree now, one side is strictly barcode for residents only,
Yeah.
and the other side,
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think more.
and when you go in, when you come in, the stick come up, it goes down. Once this one go down, this one come up, the gates open. And you wake out, the same thing, barcode. Because we want to make sure that the car that's going out is have a barcode. And then we have the cameras there looking at everything. That's the best scenario.
Best case scenario, right?
But we have to deal with, they making certain decisions. And that's where we really been.
Yeah, obviously that's something that's out of your control.
Okay,
Is that something that you want to add to the agenda for the meeting on the 29th, or you want to leave it to the next board meeting?
we will let you know.
Okay.
Any new business?
I have no more business.
Okay. At this time, I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Wait, I have a comment.
You,
Sure.
in comments below of adjournment? Or where you at?
Oh, I just had a comment that didn't pertain to the guard, but it pertains to this issue of the lake pathway.
Okay.
So I just want to point out, and I'm sure everybody's aware, that our community has almost half of the people either in an attorney not paying, or they're more than 90 days behind us. Almost half the people. I point that out because that means that our community is not flush with money, right? So we're barely covering our expenses every month. And we have in our bank account only $240,000. This project, this Lakeway project, will only repair half the lake. And half the lake. And it'll consume half the money that we have in our account.
That is only for half of
That's
it?
only for half.
Only for our part of the lake, we don't
What's
own the whole lake, we can't
Right.
do the entire lake.
It's like we do here, it's like it's two people in one, and one thinks one way and the other one thinks the other.
Okay.
So I bring this up because, I want the board to look at all the issues in our community and weigh, is that Lakeway path worth half of all the money we have saved? Money's not flowing into our account. That's what we have saved. Do we really want to spend half of it on half of that pathway? That's your job to decide. I just wanted to bring it up.
Good. Thank
I
you.
think, I agree with you, I don't think that it's worth it, but I thought the decision was already made and they were already just choosing which one.
No.
So I thought there's
No, we
no
haven't made no
choice.
decisions.
Well, that's the
We
issue
haven't,
payment now.
haven't made the decision, but the other side of the coin is the following. You all been up on the lake?
Yeah?
Yes, I've been lately, yes. And then have a trouble because with the trolley,
Uh-huh.
it's,
Okay. Anybody fall and hurt themselves out there?
No.
What you think it can cost? You think it can cost $130,000?
You mean for the insurance?
no. Well,
I just wanted to make a thought about that, because not only that, the insurance come out here, that's covering us, and look at that. He didn't tell us we didn't have to fix that. It's just like what they told us, we had to remove the playground over there, because it was a liability.
Yeah, it was rusted.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yes, we need to weigh, does it make sense or not?
Well, the
I mean,
repair
wait,
option,
wait.
the option to repair the pathway.
well, can we take a loan for this?
Hmm?
Loan.
Can you,
All right, Lonnie,
I mean, you can't, the only problem with the loan is that, remember, the previous board had placed Marbella in bankruptcy. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's there.
Was it?
I don't know. I
So
don't
nobody's
know.
gonna lend.
I don't know if anybody can lend you with bankruptcy. I don't know. But that was there. If y'all can remember that.
yeah, what about placing some signs, just not only swim, because I have seen people swimming in the lake, but just swim or walk or enter in this area is at your own risk. Would it relieve anybody of any liability?
Yeah.
No.
So there's no other way to absolve the community for liability for anything that happens to them?
No, that's common ground.
But it seems like the repair
You will have to close it.
Can we patch them and like cut the trees
You
and
will have to close it down.
Close the
fix
whole
it?
path down completely.
You know?
They have to say, all each shoulders just have to place the fence right down to the
Because it's
wall.
not that bad.
It seems like the repair option was kind of discarded prematurely, in my opinion. We had one resident here, in the last visit, I brought up this issue, why don't we repair it? We've gotten estimates for like maybe $20,000 just to repave it. And there was one gentleman here who said, that's just a short-term fix. And it may be, but you know what? For $130,000, this guy doesn't think it's gonna last 5 years.
Exactly.
So repair it for $20,000, and if it lasts 5 years, you can do it.
You can also repair it until the financial situation is better.
You
That's
know,
something we'll think about.
we haven't got
Also-
quotes for repair, like it was discarded, like
It was
everybody
50 grand,
focused, everybody focused on the, let's do the whole thing, and the repair thing was discarded. I think maybe you guys should revisit that.
Is there a line also where it's the west that is responsible and the east that is responsible?
So there's an exact line.
The west,
So
west
we
has the
are
most
doing
damage,
only
I
our.
Yeah.
think.
We do
Oh, it's actually painted on?
So why don't we repair it then?
That's great.
Instead of
That's
doing
great.
it
It's not in the
on
right
this.
spot, but it's painted. At least it's clear
The
cut.
other-
I'm sure you guys found
Yeah, we gotta cut that side. We should just.
Repair it, I think was coming out roughly about $50,000.
50,000? No, it wasn't that.
That much?
No.
that. Well, remember, when we first got the original bids, it didn't include anything about shoring the sections over here and all that. It was basically just laying new asphalt over the top. It wasn't cutting out the trees, it wasn't doing any of the extra work.
Just
This has been a progression,
So
so.
branches, boom, boom.
But doing
So
all this
it's-
part of it, it doesn't sound, I mean, I'm not an engineer or anything, but it doesn't sound good to me. Because, I mean, what good does it do if you do only one part and the other one's gonna be,
We can only control what's under our ownership. We have no control over it.
in that case, we were better off if we only repair it then.
We-
Unless we get an agreement with the other side that we do it all together, that makes sense.
Okay, we,
But spend that much money only on half of it, some of the things that he has been saying, it might happen. And then he might say, I mean, the company, whichever you choose, is gonna say, okay, because only this part was done, and this came to this, and blah, 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 and all these issues.
yeah, but the issue that you're speaking about, this issue that Amy and Samara, the thing is that, what, the reason we're here and dealing with this is because of liability. That's really long and short thing, liability comparison. And, okay, let's go ahead and repair it for $10,000, $20,000. Next year, I will come up, somebody fall. That's liability. And what we're saying is that the board changes also. The next board probably not interested in fixing that thing right. And something happened down there, or back there, regardless of who is in the board, the association is liable. You, I, everybody that lives here.
What about the insurance?
Because the insurance liability
Insurance
doesn't
will
cover
come
it.
out. The insurance will come out. But remember, the insurance always say, you have to have your things and without creating a liability issue.
Yeah, but a year ago, we repaved this, a roof came out, you know.
Yeah, and the roof will come out whether you
The
do it
roof
brand
come out
new.
whether he does it.
Yeah,
whether-
But if you do it
The
one
roof
roof, it
thing
might
was,
happen.
No, but if you cut the root right, it won't come out in a long time.
But we
Because
can do, why don't
Because I had
we
to
do
cut the
top?
roots in, when I fixed the front of my house, I cut the oak tree roots around. As a matter of fact, a Haitian did it for me, they charged me like $200. And he did it, and I haven't had any problems.
But why don't we do
Hasn't-
that? Then only those parts, and then
Right,
fix the
I'm all
whole
for that.
town.
But no,
Because it's not the whole
well-
lake either.
Well, before we continue, these are things we need to think about. These are things right now we need to think about. Next, the 29th, we can place this for vote. And on the 29th, we can come and talk. These are things that you need to think about. You can check with any good friends you might have that in legal, because this is Florida. Check about that. Okay? Because that's important for you to check because things tell me it's cheap. You can drivers do things cheap.
It's not
You do
cheap.
the- No, but what I'm
It's patching
saying,
and repair.
patching and repair. You know how many times we've been patching these streets? We've been patching the street and trying to keep the street afloat.
Yeah, but if you're not in a financial position to take on that kind of a project,
That's right.
then it's just as bad as having the liability. Because what is the liability? The liability is going against your finances. So you're getting rid of the liability to protect your finances. But if you're going to do that and still damage your finances, then it's like catch-22 really. So maybe patching it for the time being until a lot of the delinquencies can be dealt with and cycled and the community can be in a better position financially and then attack it, that might be a better thing. You wouldn't go to war with one tank.
So on this side, we are like 250 houses.
385. 385.
Okay.
Then half a limit for.
We can,
But
can we ask for a special assessment or something?
We already did.
we don't want to go.
We don't want to do that.
We don't want to do it because, right now, if we have a collection out there and the economy has not improved, as where it needs to improve, we don't want to burden anyone else with any additional costs, because this will be a separate cost to what you have. We don't want to burden anyone with no costs, additional costs. So, as I said, what we need to do is think about it, and next, on the 29th, we can discuss this. That's the only thing we will be discussing on the 29th about this. Okay. I move to adjourn the meeting. And properly second. Any more comments? This is about the